Monday, so we got to get together. It's the top of the week. Most people say Sunday is, but I was always raised, and once you become a part of the working world.
Talking about that money, always in the middle, always on the go.
All right, I think we live now, ladies and gentlemen. This is what it is. Motivation Mondays with your boy, talented comedian, holding it down at the top of the week. I think this is the most needed day and the most needed segment for a day like today to start the week off, try to get people up. You know what I say with my Motivational Mondays? We are here to do one of three things. There's three types of people out here right now. We're in the middle of a pandemic. Some of us are still on quarantine and lockdown, shelter in place, all those funky phrases that the government give you. But there's three types. There's people right now that's on the ledge, people close to the ledge, and people who are not necessarily anywhere near the ledge, but still need to be motivated daily, on a daily basis. Let's talk somebody off the ledge. That's first and foremost our priority, and try to go in there and get you. Now, this week, I want to tackle a state of mind. State of mind, because a lot of us, especially men, shout out to all my old school grown men, because we were raised in a different time where we were kind of subconsciously, unwrittenly trained to not show the level of emotion that we may or may not have been experiencing. And I say that to say that depression and stress and all that stuff is real. And sometimes you can kind of like tally yourself into that position, like something like depression. And I think a lot of it has to do with, in the Black community, I think we care way too much about what somebody else cares about or how they see us, or being judged. So therefore, because we feel like every time we're around others, we must come off a certain way or look a certain way, we tuck whatever that is, whatever that thing is that's bothering me, that I maybe need to deal with, I maybe need to see or talk to somebody about, I tuck it away. And sometimes life happens, and every time life happens, meaning another issue arises, there's another thing you may take and tuck it away. You're not telling nobody, you're not confiding in anybody. You're actually sometimes thinking, oh, I'll deal with that later. You actually have good intention of dealing with those issues you tucked away at a later time. Problem is, again, life happens, so it's easy to forget these things you have tucked away. And next thing you know, it was one or two things. Fast forward a few months, now it's 100 things, 20 to 100 things. And that's enough accumulation to put you in a stupor, you know what I mean? Or just knock you down into one of those valley of pitfalls of depression or stress. And all because, A, you never dealt with it, you never got back around to dealing with it. B, no one else knows, you never confided in anybody for a lack of trust or whatever that may be. And then again, you might be an old school man. So the woman that's in your life who could kind of converse with you and maybe come up with resolutions and what to do, you never told her, because in your eyes, you're the man, you're the strength. You represent the strength of the relationship or the family. And to come to her, your female counterpart or your other half, with something that you deem may or may not make me look a little weaker than I want to look to her. So you told no one. And it just stayed tucked away until it turned and accumulated into that ball of depression or stress. I like to use the analogy of when you're tucking things away and forget about them, it's almost like in the hood we have the expression of, make sure you are clean behind the couch. Because we have different variations of cleaning our houses. We got the quick over. We got the, did you check behind the couch? Did you move stuff to sweep and mop and disinfect and all that stuff? And then we have spring cleaning, which is supposed to be the ultimate. It's a new year, a new season. Let's get everything clean. So you ever notice when you go behind the couch, you start finding stuff. Half of it you forgot went missing, and you just got reminded because you see it. It's all types of stuff behind it. Half of an Oreo cookie, a pen cap, some old notes, money, change. So that's what it's like when you keep tucking the stuff away. And you keep tucking these things away again until they accumulate to something that's a little unbearable. Now, the other part of that is when you do something like that and you haven't confided in anyone, one of your big problems is there's no real rationale. Because, and for whatever reason, you know, the Black community especially always had a problem with, you know, going to see somebody. You know, we forever don't want to feel like we need to talk to somebody or we need help. You know, we need psychiatrists or psychologists, or that's a no-no. You know, something got to be wrong with you. Well, something is wrong with you. Not to the extent that you may think to need to talk to somebody, but to an extent enough that you can't do it from the inside. You see, the reason why people talk to somebody is not that you're crazy. You need an outside point of view. You need a POV that's other than what's already been seen a gazillion times from the inside. When you're involved and intertwined in something for so long and consecutive periods of time, you can't see what somebody else can see. Think about like a fact and a non-fact, or some people, how many times you argue with a good friend or debate about something that happened or the way it went down or whatever, and then you go to that third party to confirm. Both of y'all think you're right at the time. And then the third party goes, no, it didn't happen like that. It happened like this. So it clarifies from the outside what the inside couldn't see. Somebody in the inside couldn't see it. It was too close to it. It's not that something's wrong with you. It's that you need a fresh pair of eyes. That's why when in corporate America, when things get typed up or printed up, it goes through channels of people reading the same thing over and over again. So a fresh pair of eyes can catch something the last one didn't. The person that's been working on it real hard, like the graphic designer or the reception or whatever, whoever put it together, they've been working on it straight, nonstop, type, font, type, or, you know, abbreviation, punctuation, all these things, so that it's little simple stuff. It's easy to miss at this point. So somebody else got to look. You ever hear the expression, we need a fresh pair of eyes? Someone else needs to look at it. And they may go, hey, man, you did this, or you didn't abbreviate that, or you forgot this punctuation, or this is wrong, or whatever. And then somebody else will look at it again and may see something that he don't see. So after 3 or 4 times, they catch it and eliminate as much stuff as they possibly can. That's called proofreading. We need people to proofread our lives sometimes and our circumstances, you know. And when you need to talk to people, it's funny because it's not necessarily your life per se. That's why I always say life happens. When I say life happens, it's like something in your life, something in real life happened to the extent of slowing something else down and needing help with it. Like in my world, as a comedian, I have numerous comedian friends who didn't have the luxury of doing what they were good at, stand up, nonstop. Different things in their lives happened. Life happened and they had to make adjustments and make sacrifices and say, okay, well, I got to go to corporate instead of further pursuing my goals and dreams this way because of whatever. It could be anything. Could be medical benefits. You know, could be a kid on the way. Like I was very close to being that person. You know, when I was jumping out the window, so to speak, to start, my firstborn boy was on the way, you know, and I really had to believe in myself beyond all doubt that I can do exactly what my job is doing for me, myself on my own. And that could easily went left, right, or just flat, you know, knock on wood, all these years later, you know, I have no regrets and I believe I did the right thing. But to motivate people is to push people, find our deficits, find our negatives, and turn them into positives. And one of our negatives amongst our people happens to be, perception. We spend too much time and pride on perception because we start to believe perception is reality. That's an expression, because expression came about because you can trick people. You can create a perception that easily is looked at and go, oh, so he must be blah, 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 by whatever picture you painted. And really, if you dig a little deeper past the surface, it's not to be factual. That wasn't his Mercedes-Benz. That was a rental. Or that was his boss's car, sent him to the store to get some coffee. But the perception is, if I roll up in it, I'm driving it, I move a certain way, I can lead you to believe something without even actually saying it. Perception becomes reality for a lot of people. So it's also a negative for us, because if you're so proud that your pride pushes you to falsify things like this. We see it all. Come on, guys. We see it all the time in the clubs, right? You see it all the time in the clubs. You go out, the guy got the jewelry on. He got the Timbs, the fresh this, the new that, popping bottles, blah, blah, blah. But think back to when we were not that bright and we were coming out of adolescence into young men and women. We were doing all types of crazy stuff to impress other people. Like, we got a knot of money in our pocket, but nobody told you that knot is the rent money. Yeah, it's a couple of thousand. You know why? Because that's the rent money for the house, right? So that's the rent money for the house. The people in the club don't know that. They see the bottles coming, they see me peeling up, paying for, oh, they must got it like that. What they say? They balling. Yeah, okay. One man's chicken is another man's steak. So in this club, I'm balling. When I leave this club, I'm in a turmoil. I'm in a situation now, because now I got to go argue or duck my landlord, or now I'm Scram Jones. I'm doing all this other stuff now because I put myself in that position, because dealing with perception in the nightclub to impress the chicks and the other guys who maybe they were drug dealers and had excess expendable money. I didn't, but because I'm hanging with them, I'm going to do what I got to do to make it seem like I do. So perception in that case becomes, again, like I said, a negative. You know what I mean? So we got to get a hold of our pride. We got to niche the myth of when things are wrong, that we can't find somebody and talk to them. You know what I mean? We got to stop all of this stuff that we've been doing for so long that creates a negative environment for us. We just have to. You know what I mean? We have no choice. We have no choice but to do these things. So it's nothing wrong with us. We have to chance. One of the major things we got to change with us is talking to people and getting help when we need it, because mental illness is super duper real. And we have a lot of us walking around that's stagnating their motivation and their progress, because they're in and out of these states. They're not bouncing things off of anybody. Anything great that's ever been done, yes, it may have the notion or idea may have derived from one person, but it had to bounce off of walls somehow, some way. It had to. You know what I mean? So this is the case it may be. Now, my guest today, Cindy Bahh, should be in the waiting room now. She is the founder of Determined to Educate. And I wanted to bring her in there because I wanted to talk about us talking to people, for one, and for two, dealing with mental health, and definitely for three, literally talking people off the ledge. I'm going to get to suicide and all that stuff. But I believe that it starts early, because one thing about us when it comes to helping people with mental illness, like when Black people care about it, when it happens to grandma and grandpa, when dementia's into play, when Alzheimer's is into play, when those things come into play, then we need to put a nurse on, we need to watch out for it, we need the meds, blah, blah. But there's a whole gap between grandma and our adolescents who are going through these mental barricades, if you will, that's causing them to do this inside their own brain. And we don't know where that's going to end up. You know, that can go far left to where they just become reclusive and, you know, a hermit, or, you know, a mute and just don't talk anymore. And that can go far right, where it acts out in some sort of form of fashion of evil and anger, and somebody gets hurt. And that somebody could be that very person, you know, i.e., hence the word suicide. You know, and suicide does not discriminate. You have teenagers can't take it no more. Can you imagine? Teenager can't take it no more. You ain't did nothing yet. Life ain't happened yet. So anyway, please bring in my guest, Cindy Bahh, the founder of Determined to Educate. She's with us today. Hello, Miss Cindy. How are you? Can you hear me?
I'm here.
Okay, there you go. How's it going? Nice shades over there.
I got my plastic man shades on.
I see it's hot out here, so you know, people just like, you got to do what you got to do to shade yourself, right? Your eyes or whatever the case may be. How's things going?
Everything is going good. I mean, you know, I hurt myself a little bit, but you know.
What happened?
You know, I told one person, or maybe two people, oh, you guys could come over and enjoy food. One person turned into maybe, I don't know, a few more.
Mm-hmm.
And I found myself, you know, I said, if you guys come over here, we're going to take temperatures, we're going to have hand sanitizers, we're going to social distance. We're going to try to have a good time because, you know, the young people haven't been anywhere. They're like, you know, stir crazy. So I was doing too much. I was walking around. I was having babies in my hand. I was just doing too much. And I think I sprained my ankle, and I found myself in urgent care yesterday. And I thought I was dying. I said, this is it. I felt like.
That's hilarious.
I felt like Fred Saber. I said, this is it.
That is the funniest thing in the world. Somebody got injured social distancing. That's a first.
That's crazy. Oh my God.
That's a first. Well, thank you for still allowing your injured self to be a part of the show.
Of course.
I appreciate you.
Anything for you, talent. You know that.
That's good to know. So I've been continuing this conversation. I'm going to bring you in to get your views on this. Then we'll talk about the organization and stuff like that before I, let you go. But this Monday, I had an epiphany yesterday, right? Okay. And like you, I was amongst family, at a barbecue, and we're sitting there. And so as I'm talking to family and people that I know very closely, but I haven't seen in a long time for obvious reasons, as I get into engaging in these conversations, once you pass the surface, because it's the surface hello, hey, what's up? Ain't nothing, chilling, staying out the way. We got all kinds of sayings. And right there, you get nowhere. But if you take a minute and 10 minutes of real past the surface conversation, I'm realizing that, my questions, my whys with people, because they'll be like going to their problems, right? And I'm like, well, how you let that happen, or this, or the case may be, or did you see somebody about it? I'm asking these questions that I have not realized that I may have moved a few steps further than, my counterparts. So
what did we talk about?
So I'm like, well, no, they were talking about it was more mental and depression and stress, right? I got into the thing of, well, who'd you talk to? What are you doing to deal with it? And basically people don't. They don't deal with it. They sit in it. They soak in it. They don't fix nothing. And half of it is they don't tell nobody about it. So whatever you're going through, you're keeping it, I call it tucking it away. They're tucking it like, I'm going to deal with it later, like tuck it back here. And one thing turned into 10 things, 10 things turned 20. So you got all this going on. You never really bounced it off anybody. You didn't tell your woman. You didn't tell your boys in your group. Nothing. You're just dealing with this. Well, not dealing with it. It's just sitting there.
Right.
tough. So it creates this depression and funk.
Mm-hmm.
And we have a lot of us sitting around like that. Like, if people don't know, give people the right, especially your loved ones. I believe you got to give them the right to check on you, right? Like, if I tell you something, you'd be like, let me check on talent because of whatever. If not, your phone rings for all the wrong reasons. And nobody's checking on you. So you're in this funk, funk is small. And if you let funk sit, it festers and accumulates to this big thing, which will be a ball of stress, which will be depression. And that's harder to climb out of. Why can't we talk to each other?
Fear
Of
the unknown. I don't know what you're going to tell me. You might tell me something I'm supposed to hear. You might tell me something I'm supposed to hear. But tell me what I don't want to hear, what I already know I should do. I'm supposed to hear it. I don't know if I can accept it. I'm fearful of it because I don't know what's going to happen and I don't know what's on the other side, right? Not to mention a lot of people that were in quarantine. You had time to examine. You had time to process. You had time to see things that you were, oh, snap. I knew that was a red flag. Oh, I knew I shouldn't be doing that. Oh, I knew this, I knew that, I knew that. What should I do next? But I'm used to this. If I change it, where do I go from there? Fear. But I remember Will Smith, and he is a great motivational speaker, might I add. He said that on the other side of fear might be the best thing that ever happened to you. But we fear the unknown. So we attack the unknown. We sweep under the rug the unknown. We ignore the unknown because we are scared of whatever it is because we're so used to something that may be bad for us. But what's going to happen? It's going to keep coming around until you deal with it. Or like keeps building and pressure bust pipes, and the wrong person at the wrong time may be the effect of you balling it up, keeping it in.
Now you say fear. That's a angle that I didn't even touch on. My thing was, I think what I see in people is if you wouldn't use the word fear, I think it's the fear of being judged. I think if you have a negative thing that you needs to talk to somebody about, you're more apprehensive and scared because you're going to judge me. I don't want to be judged.
Right.
The young lady said earlier, she can't trust nobody.
So here we are, right? We that's why you have to be careful who you open your heart to. Friends, family members,
That's what she said.
Yeah, you have to be careful who you open your heart to. And when you do open your heart, can you trust this person with your heart? And be prepared for the person to tell you the truth. You don't want yes people around you anyway. Forget being. Tell me what I'm supposed to hear. Tell me what I need to do to get to the other side. And that's when I told you before, Talent, that if you're the smartest person in the room, get a new circle, because you need people that are going to want you to win. You need people that are going to be like, nah, you're not supposed to be doing that. You need to do this and this and this to be successful. And even guys, if they are, experienced or have gone through the same thing. So,
but let me ask you this: if this, because this can easily be a life and death situation, easily, right? We talk about suicide. We talk about getting to that level where we do harm to ourselves or people around us. So, because it's a life or death situation, should we put so much emphasis on, I got to be careful of who I tell my stuff to, what I'm going through, or should, because it's a life and death situation, should you be less careful and just want to talk and get some help and throw it against the wall? And if it fly, it fly. If not, you find somebody else maybe can help.
Okay, so you're referring to the person that's having the issue and finally expressing how they feel. Is that what you're saying?
No, what I'm saying is like I'm putting myself in their shoes, right? Like I always look at stuff like, what if it's me? So what I'm saying right now is, if it's me, is it better? Should I take the chance of telling people? Because I think people get caught up in, we got to be careful, who I tell my stuff to and blah, blah, blah. You get caught up in that enough, you end up not telling nobody because, again, you don't trust nobody. You don't think anybody's worthy of it.
But talent, when you perform, you know your audience. You know what not to say. You know who could take it. Sometimes you think about it. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes you pull back. Sometimes you're like, nah, this audience could take anything. Who's your audience? If that was me in my shoes, what would I want to know? That's why when people ask me for advice, I start off with, this is what I would do if I were you. This is what I would do if I was
you.
You have to do what makes you comfortable, but this is what's best for me. I always say that. That's my disclaimer.
Right.
I'm not judging you. I'm just telling you what I would do, how I would feel. I always start off by saying that. I say, are you prepared for me to rip you a new one? Or are you prepared? Are you prepared to hear exactly what I have to say? Because I want, and I say, if it was me, I would want someone to tell me X, Y, Z. Are you ready? I say, you ready for what I gotta say? That's what I say.
Right.
If you're not ready, come to me when you're ready. Because I want to tell you the truth. I want you to win. And the way you will win may not be what you're used to. It just may be a new light for you, or it might be something that you just, hey, I ain't for me. And that's cool too.
Right. But a win is a win.
A win is a win.
Yeah, a win is a win. Like, you might be used to winning by 25 points, but now, you getting more wins by less points, though. You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Exactly. Because that's going to get you to the other side of, okay, if you were really, really going through something and it was bothering you, but I might have alleviated 15% of what you're going through because you have more clarity on how to handle it. So instead of you giving me the whole 100, you give me 30% of what you were going through. And that out of that 30, I help you 15%. I think I did a good job. And I think you did a good job with expressing yourself for me to be able to explain to you how to react or what to do or something like that. Because ultimately people listen to themselves. Let's not get it twisted. Unless they say, well, you told me to do that. And, you told me to leave my wife. You told me to leave my husband. I don't know. Then I'll be like, wait a minute, I ain't tell you that. But I did tell you to go be happy. Like, I don't know. So you should, I think that you should be, choose your words wisely. Don't be like, oh, you just, you just stupid. I wouldn't do that. Nah, I don't call nobody stupid.
Well, I mean, I think that here's my thing. I think that we deal with, mental health and mental illness with a long ladder. You know what I mean? With a long ladder, like either it's way up there or it's way down there. Either way, it's not close to me. And I think that by the time we catch on, for whatever reason, it's in the ninth inning and it's too late a lot of times.
Right. And sometimes it hits a point where if you're not boiling inside, you're boiling on top of somebody else.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying. Feel the effect of whatever you're going through, having nothing to do with what the person did to you or did for you or whatever. It's somebody to blame but yourself.
Right. See, this is why, and this is where your organization comes in at, because I think that DTE, when you're determined to educate and you're catching them kids, because a lot of the problem with mental health and mental illness in the Black community is when we actually do deal with it, the few times we do, it's with grandma and grandpa.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Down the line, they you know, some early dementia, Alzheimer's, stuff like that. But on the way up from these kids, that if somebody was paying full attention to these kids, they would say, hey, you know, something up about him. Let's run some tests and see what's going on with this one. Like even something simple like autism, right? When I look at autism and you look at the average age that a Black parent of an autistic kid gets the diagnosis is dumb late as compared to a white kid. White kid, he didn't even start school yet. He 3.5, and they say, hey, we ran some tests. He's on the spectrum, or he has Asperger's, or whatever the case may be. And that kid, little Billy, starts being catered to and attended to the proper way as soon as he starts going through the school system. And with us, you know, when we find out, we done put the poor kid in special ed for the first 3 grades. You know what I mean?
But that's also about acceptance. Like, oh, my kid is not like this, or my kid doesn't need help. Or, I mean, that wasn't introduced to us in our community so long ago. Like, you know, special ed, like how many people got bullied in special ed? You know, like how many people got bullied for...
How many people got bullied by the dude that was in special ed?
Yeah, I was going to say that too.
They scared the hell out of you. Some of the special ed kids scared the hell out of you when I was little.
Yeah, so it's like that really wasn't explained, I believe.
Right, that's true.
Us in our community. So, you know, we really didn't accept, I think, you know, until it was too late, or unless you really understood about being in a spectrum, being in, you know, or having difficulties, right, you know, or something like that. So,
but even if it wasn't explained, Cindy, what I'm saying is we knew as people, right? You know, because families were big, you're raising kids after kids, whatever. So you know when something wasn't right with a child.
But they would ignore
if something was off. That's what I'm saying, yes.
We would ignore it because of fear. Because of fear, like you said, what people would say. Like they're looking at your child or whoever that is, that like they got 3 eyes, or like they got, you know, 2 heads.
Right.
And then you start to question, well, does my baby have 3 eyes and 2 heads? No, but I love my baby. But no, right, maybe, you know, like put you, not all, some people in a state of confusion and caring about what other people think. Like, right, you know, growing up, I would say maybe 85% of the time, 90% of it, I didn't care what people thought, because that's how my mom raised me. But then I cared about what the people that mentor me thought or helped me out thought. I wanted to impress them. I wanted to let them know that I could do it and I'm successful and I can't break. And then they
that
like,
makes sense. That makes sense.
Then they say, you gotta tell me your truth, Cindy. I know that you're not, you know, 100% here, or, you know, and I'm like, oh, thank you so much. You know, I know I was going through, you know, I'm stressed, you know, right, and that's what I mean. Like having those people around you that understand that what you about to tell them, you really need their help on. And right, you have to trust that they will really help you. So if you have people saying, I don't trust nobody or stuff like that,
no good.
You got to break somehow. If you need help, you got to break. You have to let somebody in. Not everybody.
I got you. No, I got you. And I think that, again, going back to DT, like grabbing them from a young age, right, and helping these kids stay on the hard course of the importance of education, you know what I mean, and where that's going to be down the line. I like the way that it comes full circle. Like you help all these kids, right? And then when I go to your annual gala and all of this, how this room has to transform into this beautiful evening of all these technical things that are going on.
That's Erica.
You guys have a bunch of those kids,
right,
that you've been mentoring and helping and staying the course of education. They're there working and volunteering that night.
Yes, I want them to see.
That's amazing.
Thank you. I need them to see how people that are successful, that look like them, are. I need them to see that. Like, look, you started here, but you could be over there.
Right.
See talent. You could look at talent. You funny. You crack jokes in the classroom. Look at talent. Look how many successful things he's done and is still doing.
Right.
Look at this vice president for this company. Look at this CEO for this company. Look at this superstar from this TV show. Look at that. Look at the behind the scenes people. Everybody ain't got to be famous now. Right? Look at the behind the scenes. Look at the person that's a VP at a TD Bank or whatever.
They're smart.
You can do that. You can do that. But what do you have to do? You have to work hard. You have to work hard.
But I like the way that, I think the best way to continue to get people to work hard is we are in a world of results. And that what you just said sums all that up. When you take the kid and you show him, he already know what you have him doing or want him to do, but when you show him the end game, because this all can bring you there. Look at this. People who look like you and who are like you, who came from what you came from, has become to boom, ta-da. So when people see that full journey, I think when people see the end, the light at the end of the tunnel, you ever watch those scary movies? And it's like, just when you're about to give up, you see a light. Now all of a sudden they got extra energy because now I got something to make it towards. I was just getting ready to give up. My feet, my legs bleeding. I was tired. The killer was going to catch me.
I think about The Last Dragon when he had the glove. I say, wait, he about to get beat up. No, he got the glove. Got the glove. Sure enough, was about to get on him. He got the glove.
What's my name? What's my name? Oh, you are so stupid.
I don't know why I thought about that.
Last Dragon, yo. That is great. Once again, my people who are tuning in, we are talking to the great Cindy Bahh, founder of Determined to Educate. Now, Cindy, take us back to what would make a woman of your stature and yourself, because here's the irony I always tell you when I talk to you, right? I always say the irony is all these kids, taking care of the kids, educating the kids. You have 0 kids, right?
Right.
How did Cindy Bahh get this be her life mission and goal and her baby? How is that possible?
Talent. I started seeing things in the community that I was like, we didn't go through that. I can't talk to that older woman like that.
Right.
Where did the ball drop? Where's the respect? Where's the importance? Where is the knowledge? Little simple common sense things. Okay, I'm going into schools. I'm going in there full combat.
Oh, nice.
Because I know what my mom taught me, what my dad taught me, what the person on the 3rd floor taught me, what the person on the 24th floor taught me,
right.
what the woman in the next building taught me, my friend's mom. That's not how we grew up. Where's the community? Where's the village? We need that. I'm going full combat, and I would see certain things happen, and I'm like, I couldn't stand back. I couldn't stand behind the sidelines. On the sidelines. I needed to be in the war. I needed to be in the front. I needed my boots on the ground because I don't know. It didn't feel good to me. If I could start off with one kid, there was so many directions that I wanted to go to, so many things I wanted to do, but I realized that it had to happen with the kids because that's how I learned. Street light came on, you in the house. Street light come on right now. They just take out their cell phone. They be like, I got a light, we good, I got a light. What? Tell it what happened.
So hold on. So what was phase 1? What's the first thing you had to do?
The first thing I had to do is get support from people in the community, for full support from the schools. Okay, this is what we're doing. We want to create something different. And then getting people like you. Like, look, I know y'all busy. I know y'all on the road. I know y'all got a lot going on, but I need you to come help these kids. How? How can I help kids? Just come talk. Just come talk. Come speak about what you were. You had a project or two in your life. You grew up in a project.
Right. True. I did.
Yeah.
I'm a project baby.
Yeah. But,
you know, I live by the incinerator, so we the roughest ones in the project. When your door is by the incinerator, you the roughest ones in the project. That was us.
Why do I remember you and JB arguing about who had the roughest projects? And then you said, I'm by the incinerator. You can't talk that. He said, I'm by the precinct. I'm like, wait a minute. Who's arguing about the best projects? Oh my God. But yes, being a product of, you're a product of being in the projects. You're a product of growing up with all women. Right?
That's true. Yeah.
You have to come and let's not get to, you know, some young men that, you know, really haven't been taught of respecting the young women.
Yeah.
So you came in and you said, look, I had sisters that raised me. I knew not to mess with my sisters. I knew to respect my mom, my grandma, my sisters. Like, you know, it's like, oh snap, I'm supposed to be nice to my sister? You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely. You never lied.
Yeah, you come in and you speak to them. You give them a new perspective on life. Like, okay, so you trying to tell me if I do my homework, I could be like Talent? If I get my degree, I could go for my master's or my bachelor's and my PhD, you know? So I believe that, yeah, I had to start with talking to people like you and saying, I need y'all. I can't do this on my own. You know, me, James, and Alicia, we couldn't do this on our own. It's a lot of work. And then the teachers, let's not to mention, you know, so many teachers tell me what they go through. Some parents be like, oh, that's not my kid. That's not my kid. Why you gave my kid a C? Because they didn't read the book. So I've been like, man, we got to talk to these parents. And I'm not saying every parent is like that. Please don't quote me. But you know, they just don't want to believe that maybe their kid isn't doing as well. And who wants to hear the news of their kid not doing well? Of course, you're going to be on the defense. I get it. But support the teachers because they're with your kid 8 hours plus, 7 hours. You know, we need the parents. We need the people in the community. We need folks like you. We need to understand that we all need each other to make this, you know, so you can be like, oh my goodness, look at my baby on Jeopardy. Everybody watch, oh, my teachers, oh, I saw my student on Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune. You know, the whole community, you know, other races do that, right?
We need each other. You're right.
We need each other. We need each other.
But you know what I was saying earlier? One of my points was, I said, listen, if people knew how much they actually were alike and connected, a lot of that, we was talking about that whole pride and worry about being judged and all that stuff, because you just can't talk about, I'm a little down because I'm going through this part of my life. Mm-hmm. Everyone has them. Right. Everyone has them. Like yours may be different from mine, but it's the same type of thing we're going to go through. You know what I mean?
Have that willpower. Everybody is not as strong as this person. So what you go through, you might be like, even though you say this is what I would do, sometimes people do judge and say, nah, they dumb. No, you can't say that. They're not as strong as you. They weren't taught what you were taught. So yes, be a little sensitive.
Yeah, case by case.
Yeah, case by case. That's why I said, you know your audience. You know exactly who to say what to, who would be able to handle what, you know. Yeah. You know, sometimes you have your show, I'll be like, no, I'm going in the back. I ain't Talent. Come talk about me. They be like, let's sit in the front. Talent, what up, Talent? Nah, I'm going in the back. I'm going to see. Son, I didn't do my hair. I want Talent to talk about you know. So, you know, but you know, if you said something to me, I'm not gonna be like crying. I'll be like, Tyler, I'm gonna get you after the show, you know? But I'll be happy because it made everybody laugh. I love to make people laugh. If you gotta, target me, don't target me at your next show, but I'm not giving you any, okay, but you say you had to use me. No, but you know your audience. And I had to learn that too. I learned it from you. I learned it from other mentors. Know your audience. When you this, I use that when I do speaking engagements. I'm not gonna say the same thing to every audience. I'm not
right.
Full of these type of people or these people. I'm not,
Well, you said something that was very interesting just now. You used the words "my mentors." Who are like your top 3 or 4 influential mentors for yourself? Who motivated you?
Oh, it's so many. But if I had to choose right now, of course, Susan L. Taylor.
Oh my God. Yes.
And Chief Emeritus of Essence Magazine, Bobby Childs.
Okay, my man Bobby.
Right.
Those are very intelligent people right there.
Yeah. DMC from Run DMC.
Okay.
A slew of executives. I could go on and on. You have the top 3, but you also take a piece from everybody. That's
what I do. Yeah, same thing.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you, there's some younger people that are doing it that I need to think about that. Right? Like somebody, my niece was in the car with me and she's like, Auntie, do you always have to play bad boy? Like we can't listen. I said, but I like Biggie. Look, but I like Puffy. I like Biggie. His name is not Puffy. I think people self-love.
We always have to play bad boy.
But I like Bad Boy.
You should turn around and say, listen, show is either this or the Last Dragon.
Yeah,
You want show enough? Or
I
you want P. Diddy?
Commodores the other day. I was like, Marvin. I was bumping easy. Like, she said, Auntie, please, you ain't got no hot smoke. I said, who? I think that's young man. And I'm like, okay, let me listen to this new music. Okay, some of them is bumping. Okay, whatever. And they talking about what? Okay, I got to keep up. So I keep up with the kids. I had to, and that's when the respect level comes. I got to respect them if I want the respect.
Absolutely.
Okay, all right, I'm going to change up. Biggie ain't going nowhere, but I'm saying, like, 112 was popping. I don't. You can come see me. Oh, Lord boy.
Hilarious.
It's funny because at the barbecue, when everybody came over here, I just kept playing Mary J. Blige. I said, Mary from New York. You know who Mary J. Blige is. Yeah, but can you stop playing? You remind me, like, can you put something else on? I said, all right. And I put on Like Sweet Morning Dew. It was like, dang, I feel married. I said, but Method Man is in it. Method Man. I said, please. You ain't got no Afro beats? I said,
oh, my goodness. That's hilarious, man.
I said, okay. That's when I really had to sit down and say, what that song say? Where'd it go? It was all these lyrics. I said, okay, I could get with it. Okay. So I had to open up. And that was my little mentoring moment from the young people. Like, okay, I don't got to be strict. Because I know my parents, if they put something on, you better shut up. You can listen to that. That was it.
I will say this. I will say this with the young folks. Like, it's a give and take. So if you want me, because I'm older than them and I need to I'm always coming from a point of view of telling you and helping you, guiding you, like mentorship with knowledge you don't already have yet. So I'm about that because that's where I am and that's where you are with it. That's our roles in this movie. In the middle of this movie, I'm the older guy that needs to help give you the jewels to the younger guy. So that's how you motivate. So if you want me to listen to 10 minutes of this crazy stuff or whatever they may be talking about and twerking to, you're going to have to listen to 20 minutes of my Chuck D or something, because each one teach one. You know what I mean? Like, I'm all about that motivation. And you said something in a previous interview, too, about mentorship that I thought was very interesting, where we were talking about we need more of our brothers to step up.
Oh, yeah.
And show up.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Step up and show up. Because when it comes to our issues in our communities and trying to do better and get better and be our brothers and sister keepers, the women are always out there front and center.
Oh, yeah.
It's always the sisters, the queens out there front and center.
This is true.
Enough right now. It's 2020,
yes.
right? We are in this war. We are in this movement. Brothers got to step up now, even if it's for hours or 2 a week with mentorship. Every little bit's going to add up and count, I believe. And you made that point.
Listen, Congressman Lewis passed away. We talking about, and I need to post that. We talking about a man that went through it. He stepped up, okay? But he's 80. I'm gonna need the 26, the 36, the 46, the 56, the 66. All of us to step up. I need more John Lewis's. I need more President Barack Obama's. I need more. You know, I need them to see we need each other. We need y'all.
Right.
You know, we want to have, you know, there's so many amazing community leaders, but I need them to see that we need everybody to be a part of the movement for education. And education meaning that you can teach somebody something. Brothers, step up. Step up for the sisters. Yeah. Step up for your sons. Step up for your nieces, your nephews. Step up. We can't do this by ourselves. We need the help.
And you ain't never lied. And I'll be the first one to tell you.
Having a little moment.
Well, me too over here. I applaud you. I thank you again for your time. You're always one of my favorite guests to have on any platform because you're so knowledgeable, you're beautiful, and you're strong enough for both of us.
Listen, talent, I need you to know. Sorry, let me just hush him up. Simba, stop it! That's the Lion King over there. Talent, I'm so sorry. Stop it! Gavin, come get him. Hurry up. Sorry about that. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm messing up the interview. Gavin, come get him. Listen.
Yeah, you're all good. Go ahead.
I want to tell you that I am so proud of you.
Mm-hmm.
I am so, look at all the things you're doing. You like, I got to keep up with you. I always tell you, I got to keep up with you. I tell Ursula, I'm like, yeah, we got to go to see talent. Wait, which show? I saw like 3 shows. Okay, we're going to do that on Tuesday, but we're going to do that. We're going to do that up there. Then we're going to go to Connecticut. You know, I want to support you. You are doing it. You are a brother that's stepping up for us. And always when I call you, I'm like, oh, the date got changed for the gala. Don't worry about it. I got it. I'll take care of it. And you always there for us, right? I so appreciate
absolutely.
You. And you always try to be there for other people's galas too. I so appreciate you. And you are meant to me.
I love you. I love you. And I do it for people like you because
I love you too.
I said last night, everything this week, every show, every platform is dedicated in the memory of John Lewis, right? And when you talk about somebody doing so much for the community, it pales in comparison when I can look at an 80-year-old activist who's on the brink of death, fighting cancer, his own cancerous battle, and still, at his height of the illness, comes out to be there for Black Lives Matter.
Amen.
Because it's in the thick of things. I mean, when I say his last, the footage is real. He was there.
He was there.
Days ago, before he was gone. Remember, and they put a rumor out that he passed before he even passed. And everybody's like, no. He answers his own rumor. You know, I'm here. I didn't die.
I feel so bad because I was invited somewhere to join someone. And at the time I was just going to do something and he was a part of the group and that would have been my first time meeting him, being with him for days. We were in another country. And when I found out that he passed away, I so regretted it. So I'd say that to say, when people invite you somewhere, you never know the magic that can happen. Even if you feel that it's boring, you make the best of it. There were that I didn't think that I should have been.
And I would have never met this person if I didn't go to this thing. So when people invite you somewhere, I'm not talking about barbecue parties. I'm talking about like a book signing or, you know, a poetry reading or something different from what you know.
Right.
Go. You should go. I lost a chance to meet him. I will never meet him until I get to where I get to. I would never meet him. I was so sad. I said to my sister, did Rep Lewis pass? She said, oh yeah, I said, what? I said, they just announced that he had. So Whoopi Goldberg said something so profound today on The View. She said that they should name that bridge in Selma after.
Yeah.
Because the bridge is named after someone that, if I don't want to get it wrong, I guess he owned slaves, Edmund, you know.
Right.
And he, you know, so I said, if they send that petition my way, I'm signing the whole family signature.
Well, I think he will. You know, I know in my heart of hearts that he will. Yeah, the brother's just remarkable. And the things that we've had privilege to live through in our lifetime are historical, and we're never going to forget it. And trust me, I tell you, you're nowhere near done with what you're doing, and you're historical in your own right. And I appreciate you and applaud you being on the platform. Ladies and gentlemen, determined to educate, Cindy Bahh, my girl. All right, Queen, thank you so much. Salute you. Be good now. Stay off your foot.
I can't with you. When's the next show? I got to be there.
I'll hit you later.
See you later. Take care.
All right. Thank you so much. That's Cindy Bahh, determined to educate. Something you need to do your research on, look up, because they're doing great things in the community. I think they've been going for 15, 18 years or something like that. And like she said, when you get invited to certain things, whether you think it's going to be boring or not, if it's something out of the norm and you know it's a great networking thing, every year I go to the gala, it's so much more unexpected things happen and contacts made and networking and all that good stuff. So you can't compare it. It's incomparable. Trust what I tell you. So that was Cindy Bahh. Thank you for being on Motivated Mondays. So to wrap things up, what I was talking about predominantly in the show is we got to get a handle on ourselves, our issues. You know, life happens. Remember, I told you that, people. Life happens. That means that life is a bunch of hills, pits, and valleys all the time. It does this. And sometimes we're going to be down here, and sometimes we're going to be up here. And each week varies. So we don't know how many of these and how many of these. But what you need to keep in mind while you're so tucking these emotions and feelings away, messing with your own mental, it's okay to talk to people. It's okay not to be over proud and worry about things like judgment, because if you knew how much we're all connected, no matter how rich, no matter how poor, no matter your circumstance, everyone, and I mean everyone, we have that humanity in common, that we go through our pitfalls, our trials and tribulations. Each one teach one, everyone. And I think if people knew that and actually maneuver through life knowing that and reminding themselves of that, they'd be less proud to tell somebody what's going on with them. What is that ailment? What is that diagnosis? What is that mental and emotional and spiritual state that could be helped? Because keep in mind, like I said before, when you're in it, 90% of the time, you can't see it all. It's impossible. It's imperative for outside help. And that's us helping each other. You can't do it all. I can't do it all. That's what it is this week. Motivation Mondays, man. I hope we talk somebody off the ledge. I hope we made somebody take a few steps back that was heading towards the ledge. And to all my people that's in a good space that are nowhere near the ledge, God bless you. Continue down that path and do what I do. Grab somebody and beat them in the head with some information. Make them laugh a little bit, but drop jewels a lot of it. And together we're going to get through this, all right? It's been a Motivated Monday. I want to thank my guests this week, Miss Cindy Bahh from DTE Incorporated, determined to educate. She's catching the youth, y'all. She's catching them early. She's teaching them the way we were taught and doing what we do. So with all that being said, I want to say, hey, you got it right here. Tune in next Monday where we have a new guest. I think we got 2 guests coming next week. So you want to keep it locked and see what we're doing here. Big things, man. Trying to wrap everything up in one big bubble of positive energy, because pandemic, I want us to feel like, even though we in it, like, what pandemic? I shouldn't feel pandemic until I go to the store and put my mask on to protect myself and others. But other than that, I should be flying high up here. Mental stability. It's your boy Talent. Don't take it personal. It's just comedy or not. It's Motivation Mondays. See y'all next.